Hi everybody, it's Kate here. Thanks for joining me today. So it's now the end of October and I seriously cannot believe I'm saying that. How have we already got to the end of October? Anyway, as crazy as it is the end of October. So now our thoughts are starting to turn towards Christmas and the things we need to make for Christmas. Now I started making my Christmas cards way back in probably February, March time, so I have more than enough. So I've been looking at other things I need for Christmas, like gift boxes and gift tags, and I have been having so much fun trying different techniques on gift tags, and I thought I'd share a few of those today with you. Now, gift tags don't just have to be to go on your gift boxes or your presents. You can also put them on cards, which is what I have done here, as you can see. And if you want to see how I made these cards, if you check out last week's video, it was called Craft Card Inspiration and Embossing, and these were a lot of fun to make and very easy. So if you check that out, you'll see how I did those. But today I'm going to be doing some gift tags. Now I have been playing with different techniques here and I'm not 100% happy with all of these. This one, for example, I really like the Christmas tree and how it stands out. That's using a snow effect embossing powder, and you can see just how glitzy the background is. That's using my Crafter's Companion Sparkle inks. The only thing I'm not happy with is the really harsh lines. I need to play around a bit more and try different ways to do the blend because the lines are too harsh. But the rest of them I'm fairly happy with. So the products I'm going to use today, I've already cut out. I'll just move those to the side. I've already cut out some tags. I have used the creative die tags. I got these from Craft Stash. Now I am not in any way associated with Craft Stash or Practical Publishing, who own Craft Stash. I just really like Craft Stash as a company. I think their prices are good, I like their products, and I like their magazines. So a lot of what I use does come from them, and I do use a lot of the stamps or things like that from their magazines, but it does mean it's easy for you to get hold of if you're wanting to use the same as me, if you haven't already got it. But you should be able to make tags out of any die you have. I've made tags out of just normal rectangles, squares. I mean, you can make them out of anything. There's no hard and fast rules. I just really like these little tag dies. They're new to me, and I like using them. So that's why I'm using these today. I'm also going to be using a whole range of stamp sets. This one here is the newest creative stamping. This is Silhouette Scenes. I'm also going to be using the Christmas Florals. Again, that was a creative stamping magazine, and I absolutely love this poinsettia. I just think it's stunning. And then I'm going to have a play with Gingerbread Village stamp set. This is actually from a magazine last year, and I don't actually think this one was creative stamping, but I love the little gingerbread men. Look how cute they are. And the little houses and the penguins. So I'm going to use that one as well. I'm going to be using a whole host of inks and embossing powders. So let's get started. Right, I have just cleared my workspace. Now the first thing, I guess this is like a hack, if you like. People seem to call these hacks, life hacks, craft hacks, whatever. I haven't got a proper craft mat to work on. This is just a normal glass chopping board, so I can cut on this, I can blend on this, I can put paints on this, and it just wipes clean. It's absolutely fabulous. Yes, I would like the Tim Holtz craft mat because I think it's a really good idea. It's got the different areas for different bits and so on and so forth, but I can't afford one, and this does the job just as well. So there you go. If you haven't got the Tim Holtz mat, or you haven't got a specialist craft mat, a normal glass chopping board from Tesco's or Dunelm, or you know, the range, whatever, will do just as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is use, and this is going to be a very unconventional Christmas tag, but I'm going to use these neon poster paints. And what I'm going to do, I'll put blobs of colour onto my chopping board. Okay, I have put them pretty close together on purpose. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a white tag just so it shows up really well. But this is where the smushing comes in. So now I'm just going to start pressing this over the top. Look how beautiful. And I'm just going to keep doing that till the whole thing is covered. Alright, I'm going to leave that off to the side to dry, and I'm going to quickly wipe up this board and get it workable again. We'll leave that one off to the side to dry, and we'll crack on with some other techniques, and we'll come back to that one a little bit later. So the one I'm going to start with is this one here. It's absolutely beautiful, very understated. You could add more to it if you wanted to. I might put a sentiment on this one in a minute, we'll see. But this is what I'm going to do. This is using an embossing powder called Hologram Sparkle. It's by Create and Craft. I don't know if you can still get this, but it's a really nice powder. So I'm going to again use some red cardstock to do this. Just clear the neon paint from there. Missed that bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the embossing buddy in and just go all over it to make sure that the embossing powder only goes where I want it to go. Then I'm going to grab my stamp, and I'm going to use the large poinsettia from Christmas Florals, which was from Creative Stamping magazine. I'm just going to line the stamp up so that the two top leaves are just off of touching the edge of the top of the tag, and these two leaves are not quite touching the edge of that tag. And then I'm going to grab a sentiment off of Silhouette Scenes, and I think I'm going to grab With Love. And there you go. Isn't that just beautiful? and it shows up well enough on the red that you could just put that on and it's nice and subtle, or you could go over the top and blend a bronze ink over the top to distress it down, which is what I did on that one. So it still stands out, it's still really pretty, it's just given a slightly distressed feel. But I'm going to leave this one just like that and decide what to do with it nearer the time. So that's the first one I wanted to show you. The next one I want to show you how to do is this one. This is using the embossing powder as a resist, so you can stamp your background and your image and then blend over the top, and the ink will resist the colour. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm just going to grab a tag in, and I'm going to be using white embossing powder this time. I'm still going to use my Versamark. So I'm going to again go over this with the embossing buddy so that the embossing powder only goes where I want it to go. Let's choose some stamps. So I think this time I'm going to use the Santa Claus from this set. Again, this is from a magazine last year. Don't think it was Creative Stamping Magazine. I think it was one of the others. So I'm going to put him in the middle, just like that. He's going to take up the whole tag. You can just about see it's not going to show up great right now because it's white on white, but you can kind of get the gist. I'm going to bring in one of my blending brushes. These are by, let's have a look, Your True Beauty. These are by I really like these for ink blending. They do it really nicely. I find that having one of these cloths, I don't know if you can see, it's just a regular cleaning cloth from like Tesco, but these aren't supposed to retain any ink. Mine do. I know I bought them cheap off Amazon, but they do tend to retain the ink. So by having this at hand, because it's kind of anti-static and microfiber and all that kind of jazz, it does take the ink back off the brush. Also, I can use this to hold the item I'm blending. I know crafting and that is supposed to be messy and it's great fun to get inky hands, but I have a young baby and half the time I go from doing something like this to the baby's crying and I've got to go pick it up, and I really don't want to get ink all over my baby or the baby's clothes. So I find that by having this handy, it saves my hands. I also have one of those manicure things you put your fingers in it and it spreads your fingers. That's also good for holding images while you blend and not got inky fingers. So if you're particularly worried or you don't want to get inky fingers, those are my top tips. So I'm going to bring in a red Stampin' Up ink. I got this in LA last year. It was in a thrift store next to Scrapbooking Made Simple, and I spent so much money in Scrapbooking Made Simple. It's such a brilliant store. So you can see as I'm applying the ink, the image is resisting the ink. I will go over and buff over the top of it when I'm happy with the ink coverage. This is just a really nice technique to do, whether you want it on a gift tag or a gift card. It's really, really lovely, and it's so simple as well. And see, I'm just adding a little bit of shadow just by going around Santa a little bit more and building up the colour as I go. I'm just going to bring in a slightly damp baby wipe and carefully go over the top of the white embossing powder, and you can see the excess ink is coming off on the baby wipe, so he's really going to stand out in a minute. Possibly not use the best image to demonstrate this technique because of all the holes in Santa, but kind of get the gist. You can get the excess off. It'll just take a little bit of work. But see how it is there, the white's underneath. And I don't know why my red's looking purple. Those, but very strange. Definitely says red ink, but it's come up purple. Go figure. So that's another tag. I think he's quite cute, really. Okay, let's get this out the way and we'll do another one.